And that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another live edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show, live from high atop Hard Rocket Sports Studios in the beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 2-hour weekly get-together where we bring you all the biggest news from around the worlds of hard rock, heavy metal, and, of course, the wide world of sports. And, guys, welcome to Thursday night, July the 16th in the year of our good Lord, 2026. And I hope you guys have had a good few weeks. We've been off the air now. I was away for the 4th of July holiday, and Jeff was off last week. So was I. I have to admit, I don't think I could have done the show one way or the other last week. I was flat out exhausted, a rough trip home. So it was probably a good thing to have the week off, and we're rejuvenated. We're ready to crank it back up. You know, it is a tough time from February till right now. Why? Because we're not a show built on other sports. We're built on football. We're built on music. We'll talk other sports. We talk general stuff every day, stuff that's going on in your world, like wildfires that create a haze over our country. But primarily, this show kicks into high gear when football kicks into high gear. So we've managed to get from February to now. We've had some great shows. We've had some great guests. And when I say guests, you guys popping on and joining Jeff and I each week. And we do our conversations about wrestling and a lot of lists. And, you know, we find a way to get through 2 hours each week. But now it's showtime. So it's not this week, but starting next week, we kick off with I like to call it, it's like our financial, it's the, what do they call that? It's a bit. So our show started July 24th, 2014. So next week will be the 23rd, if you can mark it on your calendar. And we will be celebrating the start of our 13th year on the air. So we are celebrating 12 years officially, starting year 13. And I am very much looking forward to being on the air. And the very first show I ever did was the NFL training camp show, which, by the way, I found now. Now, all of our shows are captioned on Spotify. So if you go to Spotify, hit Hard Rock and Sports, you can go back and catch all the old shows. Our interviews with Pete Rose and George Foreman and Jeff Tate and Geezer Butler, KK Downing. The list is much bigger than I expected. So all of the shows are captured back there. I have to find a way to get them off of Spotify and back so I can break them up and play them on this show. But the bottom line is we're about to kick off what starts our year, and we'll talk football every week. We'll mix in other stuff, but this show just basically revolves around the NFL. And we're a week away from the NFL training camp show. So tonight it'll be a little football. We got a little bit of basketball. We'll talk uniforms. We're going to talk MLB, top 50, a bunch of jibber-jabberish stuff for 1 week. And then next Thursday night, the show kicks in. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Jeff on. We'll get this show kicked off. And, of course, we did miss Jeff's birthday show last week, being that we were off. But I do want to wish my partner in crime a happy 60th. It seems like we've been celebrating his birthday for well over a month now. So, but if anybody deserves that kind of fanfare, it is my buddy. 40-something years. Oh, he just stepped away from his desk, so let me wait till he gets back to his desk. He was the first of our group of friends to hit the big 6-0. Hopefully he won't be the last. We got a few of us right behind him. But in the meantime, we'll open up the show next week with a lot of Jets, Giants, just general football stuff. And we'll kick off the football season like we've done basically for the last 13 years. So this is where it gets to be fun, but now it gets to be even more fun when I bring on my buddy of 45 years, is it now? Let's think about that for half a second. 1982. So I'm going to say, I think February of 82 is the official start date of our friendship. So that would put us at 44 years. So my buddy of 44 years, the ever sexy, the official 60-year-old Mr. Jeff Blackest Sabbath, Talwinski.
What's up, man?
What's up, my brother? How are you?
Well, I just before the alarm starts going off, my noticed my sugar was going up. I had to go take my
Oh,
insulin. It's gonna
okay.
go off. The alarm is gonna go off. I don't know if you can see that. Probably
No,
not.
it's very.
No, that's see 244.
I see that. Yep,
Yeah, and a little arrow going up. That's not good. But that's
that's
all
not
right.
good.
I just ate dinner. That's
All
why.
right, all right. Well, Jeff, let's while we're a week away from our anniversary show, which is next Thursday night, and we'll do a nice we'll do what we know we do, Jeff. We need to start this show off with the way we started off just about every single show along the way, which is well over 500 of them now. Jeff, how was your week?
I was on vacation, so it was great. Been on vacation since before 4th of July, but
Wow.
that's all coming to a screeching halt come Monday.
Oh boy. Well, listen, you got
Yeah,
another weekend, and the end of the road of work is in view. So that's the good news.
13 and a half months.
We don't
Less than
want it to get
13 and a half months.
we don't want to get here too soon, but we do want it to get here for you. So,
I wanted to be here by the time the show ends.
well, we can't make that happen. But Jeff, I must ask you, how was your birthday celebration, which seems to have lasted close to a month now? How has your birthday celebration
And
been?
and I had no hand in that. That was my
No,
wife
no,
doing
I
stuff
won't
like
blame
that.
you for it. You owe no blame to it. I just want to know you've been celebrating. We've celebrated numerous times at this point.
Yes, yes, and it's been good. Except I got to get guitar center story.
Oh, go ahead. Let me hear it.
Well, so I decided I wanted a bass. Right, I found a bass that I liked and everything
Okay.
else. Right,
Uh-huh.
and so I ordered it, and
Oh,
it came on Tuesday. I ordered
oh,
it
very
Saturday.
nice.
Came on Tuesday. Yes.
How many does this make officially in the Towinski home? How many bass do you
Well,
own
the,
in
the
your home?
number has not changed.
Oh,
It is still 12. It
okay.
was 12 before the base got here. The base got here, and now it's still 12.
I guess there was that bass did not meet up to your expectations.
No, no, it looked like it got thrown out the fucking window.
Really?
Yeah. When I opened it up, I felt some indentations on the face of the base. So
Okay.
I was like, it's like, I don't know, like, that's a Fender. It shouldn't be there. That base should be perfect.
Pristine. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, let me see what happens, right?
Hmm.
So I'm looking at the rest of it, and I see this big chip, like the
Hmm.
size of a dime, almost actually about the size of my thumbnail, by the bottom of the base, and I'm like,
Right.
what the fuck? Like, it's got a chip, and then I'm looking at it, and I just keep finding more and more damage.
Hmm.
So I was like, motherfucker. So I immediately called up Guitar Center, and they were like, well, we'll send you a label, this, that, and the other thing. So I was like, all right. And they sent the label, and then I ended up bringing it back there on Wednesday, yesterday.
Oh,
And I
really?
go, yeah, because I was just like, instead of sending it back, I just didn't want it no more. I didn't want to deal with going to sending it through the mail and all this other shit. And I'm like, this was a $1,900 base
Wow.
like that, and it's damaged. Like, I was like, get the fuck out of here. And then the guy that I spoke to, he tells me, he goes, well, I'll have your gear associate call you, and maybe we could work something out where they take more money off, off the next base or something.
Right.
So like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm like, I'm still waiting for him to call me back.
Wow.
So I brought the base back, and I was just like, you know what? So I just take it. I'm not dealing with this.
So,
So
are you going to reach out to a different? I use Sweetwater. I haven't bought a guitar in a long time. It's probably been 4 years since I bought a guitar, but I've bought just about every single guitar I've ever owned, except for the lovely one that you and your wife purchased for me. That was the only one I bought a Guitar Center in person. Everything else I bought through Sweetwater.
yeah, they're good,
Yeah.
Sweetwater. I like them, and
Yep.
listen, it is what it is. I don't need any more right now, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I just like I just can't get another one. That's all there is to it. I can't bring myself to do it.
All right. Well, listen, it happens. I've had the same situation happen with me. Other stuff. You buy something that you're not really sure you should have bought. You get it. It doesn't work out. You return and go. All right. Maybe that was an omen, a sign not to purchase said instrument or said purchase.
Do you want to see how how much I want to buy something, but I just don't?
Go ahead. Ah, he's walking around with a wad of cash. That's not a bad thing.
No, it's just sitting there, just waiting, and I can't think of what I want. There's
Oh,
nothing that I
listen,
could say that
listen.
I want.
You know what, Jeff? You put it in the pocket, and one day you're strolling, and something will pop up, and you go, "That's it. I want that."
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I
You
hear
never
you.
know what it could be. Maybe it's a diamond ring for your wife. Who knows? Maybe poor Sharon. Anyway, so back to work, and let me ask you this question. So obviously you were off for the 4th of July, and it was hot. I know it was very hot here, but did
Hmm.
you feel very patriotic and celebrate the country's 250th birthday?
What did I do on the 4th of July? I don't remember what I did on 4th of July, to be
Oh,
honest
really?
with you. Yeah, I mean, I didn't work,
Okay.
so I definitely didn't do that. This year I didn't work. I'm not working no more 4th of July. I'm done with that because of the way they fall. I'm not rearranging my schedule to do that.
Right.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess we barbecued, me and my wife, and that was about it. My house was very, very quiet.
Yep.
Like you didn't hear nothing.
Hmm.
Uh, the day before 4th of July, I think her son had an incident with his car,
Oh, hope
and
all's all right.
yeah, he'll be all right. He's got a new car now.
Okay.
Yeah, I evidently didn't do anything too exciting. I don't remember. I mean, it was cool, 250 years, but I remember when it was 200 years.
Yep.
Now it's
So do I.
250,
Yep.
and oh, that went quick. You
Yes,
know,
yes, a blink of an eye. I was telling that to somebody. I said, I remember my only remembrance of 250 was my whole family was at my grandmother's house.
I mean 200.
200, sorry. I was at my grandmother's house over in wherever that is off by St. Rita's Manor Road area, and
Okay.
my they were having parade of ships coming under the bridge and all of that.
Hmm.
And at the time, we lived right next to Von Briesen Park,
Okay.
so we had a driveway in our property, and so my dad, my uncle Bob, and my brother and I, we all drove back to my house, parked in our driveway, and like nobody else had parking, but we were able to park. And we walked to the top of Von Briesen Park, and you were able to see obviously the Verrazano Bridge, and we watched the ships come in for about an hour, and people lighting off fireworks. And back then it was pure mayhem. There were people drinking, smoking pot. There was fireworks everywhere, but there wasn't an air of patriotism that I did not feel necessarily this year. Although where I was, very patriotic. People were just had a great time. They shut off the whole street, the whole center of town was shut down. It was fantastic. But
I,
I'm not sure that was felt everywhere.
I don't think. Well, like I said, I wasn't outside dealing with any of this, so it was hard for me to say.
Yep.
But I think overall, I think New York kind of had the feeling because
Yeah.
it looked like it was bringing people together a little bit. 250 years, but
Yeah. It should have.
well,
Hopefully.
that's short lived.
No, of course it is, and of course, now we're back to dealing with the commies and the socialists and all the other riffraff of the world, and hopefully, but yeah, but 250 was nice to be around for. I don't believe I'll make the next one, but you never know what life brings.
Listen, the next one is about 275, right?
I guess so. I don't know if they celebrate those midpoints, but if they do, I'm hoping to be hanging around, not pooping my pants at that point.
Oh,
We'll see. But
I had a good one yesterday.
oh yeah. Oh
Oh
yes,
yeah,
yeah. You mentioned it. Yes, I
I
know.
did.
Yes, I think I got a text message yesterday about your
Okay, well,
exploits.
we when we went to go bring the base back, we stopped at Jose Tejas.
Oh, good food.
See, well, I'll never go there again.
Oh, really?
Really. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
we driving over the bridge, and they closed the highway
Mhm.
off because a tanker truck or something went
Oh,
on
wow.
fire or something like that. So they closed off the highway.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to find a way home, and every which way I go, there's traffic, there's traffic, there's traffic, there's traffic. So finally, I'm going down past where's all the old house? Richmond Town. I'm
Okay.
going through Richmond Town. All of a sudden, I hear I'm like gurgle. I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh,
I'm like, this is not good. Now I'm at this point in time. I'm like, there's no way I'm bringing this home. There's no way this is going home. So now I'm thinking about where am I going to stop?
right.
Where's there's woods because I'm
Oh,
not going to make it
wow.
someplace. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll go up to High Rock Park. They
Mhm.
have they gotta have something up there. I
Yeah.
work for the park. I got something.
Yeah.
I go up there. This woman makes a right to go up Nevada Avenue, and I'm right behind her, and she's doing about 8 miles an hour.
Oh, God.
And I feel the pulsating, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh my God. I'm like, this is fucking bad, 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 bad. So finally she pulls over. I'm getting ready to lay on the horn. She pulls over and I just whip past her. And I'm going up there and I get to the top and it says no vehicles allowed past this point. And I was like, no, absolutely fucking not. I'm a supervisor there. So I'm going walking in like I own the place,
right.
driving in like I own the place.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So all of a sudden, my wife, we're looking, and I'm like, "Oh, where am I gonna go? Where am I gonna go? Where am I go?" I'm like, hoping there's no people there, and all of
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
sudden,
Yeah. Yeah.
all of a sudden, she goes, "There's a little blue shed over there," and I'm like, "Porta potty, yes." My God, it was like a chocolate Niagara. It was bad, bad. Yeah, it was
Oh, boy.
bad. I
Listen,
I didn't even
at
get
least the
into
good
the
Lord,
release.
at
I
least
didn't
the
even
good
get
Lord.
into the release position. That's
Oh,
how
boy.
bad it was. They're lucky that they don't have a fucking hazmat team up there now cleaning that up.
See, the good Lord left, swerves you into the right direction and got you to the blue hut of paradise.
Dude, even a homeless person would have said, "Nah." There was so much shit
Yeah.
in this thing; it was unbelievable. Not
I mean,
actual shit, just stuff
yeah.
blown into the stuff like natural debris, leaves,
And,
sticks, a whole bunch of shit.
maybe Anthony's right. Maybe you got the Legionnaire's disease.
Oh my God!
Maybe you ate some bad lettuce.
I don't know,
Uh, I uh, I will tell you that at this
Anthony.
point in
You'll
my
you'll
life,
get the whole story on Sunday, man. You'll have
yeah,
to wait. Got to be patient.
I gotta tell you, I think at this point in my life, I make sure first of all before I leave anywhere, I pee always,
Yep,
always. I'm always, and I'm also if I feel even the slightest tinge, I'll stop
yep,
and make sure I try. But I also plot my route, making sure I know exactly between where I'm going, where I am to where I'm going. I know where every bathroom available is. Now, the good thing for me is I traveled in Jersey, and in Jersey, you can almost pull over any exit and hit a McDonald's or a Home Depot or a Lowe's, and there's always a really nice bathroom. Once or twice, I've gotten off and gotten to the bathroom, and it would be out of order. That is pure panic because you know at that point your stomach's ready to let loose because it feels like it's going to go, and then all of a sudden you go, now what? Now you have to kind of reload, and it's not easy.
you
But
know, I've only done certain things of this nature, so it has never been a solid. But you know the sheds at Home Depot and Lowe's.
sure. Oh
I
my god, really? Oh
Yeah.
my god, you're a filthy animal.
Listen, I'm over there and I'm like, I tell my wife, like, I gotta pee now. Like, we're going in. I'm like, no, no, no. I said I have to pee now, right now. I gotta pee right fucking now. And she's like, what are you gonna do? I said, I'm gonna go in the shed. You're gonna stand there and
Yeah,
no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm like, yep, yeah, yeah. Be out in a minute. Bye. And I just went in and that was it. I was like, I gotta do what I gotta do.
you are a sick man. I think we
You're
have to
gonna
move
tell
on.
me you're gonna sit there and play innocent and tell me that you've never done something that you shouldn't have done.
Oh, of course I have. There's no doubt in
I
my mind. Oh, listen. There's no doubt in my mind. But that might be something I've never. I've never done that. So, but that's okay. You're allowed, Jeff. You're 60, and at this point, we're as long as we're still alive. One of these days we'll all be traveling out, going. Did you wear your dependents today? Yeah, I got it. I'm good. I'm good. So,
I'll be dead before that.
well, we'll see. You never know. We'll see. But Jeff, let's get now that we've now that we've exhausted this topic. Let's move on. We're about to end the World Cup, and I'll tell you, I don't know if it's because it's being held in the U.S. during this year. I don't know what but it's really been an overall success. It's been a lot of people watching. If you're in New York City, there are tons of tourists running around with their country jerseys on. Jeff, I'm pretty sure you haven't watched a second of me, except for maybe some highlights. But have you felt the anticipation, the enthusiasm, let's call it, for the sport of soccer in the last 6 weeks in the U.S.?
Well, I got to be honest with you, dude.
Okay.
I was looking more forward to practically shitting my pants yesterday than watching a second of soccer. I mean that wholeheartedly. I could not give a flying fuck if soccer plays, if not, or whatever. I don't understand the sport. I have no urge to try to understand the sport. I just don't get it. I do not get it. And I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they're like, "Oh, I love soccer," and I'm like, "Why? How? What is it that I don't understand it?"
Yeah, I would tell you. I would tell you, I don't love it. I've enjoyed this tournament. I like the Olympics, the World Cups. It's fun when it's nation on nation. I don't watch. It's terrible. No one cares.
Yeah.
Catalano's in the house.
I got to agree with Frank.
No, I disagree with Frank. Now, again, you could say it's terrible. I won't argue that no one cares. I disagree with. It's been a very popular 6 weeks.
Frankie posted something today on Facebook about a Motley Crue concert.
I did see that a little bit. Yes, I saw that.
You ready for this? You ready? Yeah. I'd rather be at that concert than to watch soccer.
You'd rather be sitting front row at a Motley Crue concert?
I'd rather be getting sweated on by Vince Neil as he fucking waddles by.
I will tell you, it was a fun tournament. I watched a ton of games. I have to be honest with you. Especially when I was away, I watched all the American games. I've watched Argentina's last 3. I've seen a bunch of soccer. I love the Norway guys. It was a lot of fun. Now, will I watch a regular soccer game? No. I think the sport it's chess. It can be boring. I'm sure it's exciting for everybody, but it's not my cup of tea to watch on a normal basis. But when you pit nation against nation, I'm all in, and especially when it happens here, you're seeing it live. It's at real times. It was a great tournament. It was a great job by FIFA and the U.S. team, the U.S. people. I think they promoted it tremendously, and I think there was a great amount of enthusiasm for it. And it'll culminate this week with a big game in Argentina versus Spain this Sunday at MetLife. So avoid MetLife Stadium. If you have anything going on in Jersey Sunday at 3:00 and before and after, please stay away. But Jeff, I get your point. It's not for everybody. It's a very slow moving game. You'll see the ball will get kicked from one goalie 3/4 of the way down. They'll pass it back and forth. The next thing you know, the offensive team is kicking it back to their end, and then they're starting. It's very monotonous. I get it.
Well, you understand the sport somewhat, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yes, very much. Yeah.
The only thing I could possibly compare it to is hockey, where it's got a similar field as the ice and hockey, with you got offsides and a midline and everything else. If you don't understand the strategy behind it, you're not going to understand it.
Yeah.
But from watching baseball when I was a kid, I taught myself how to watch baseball. Same with football, same with basketball and hockey. This is a sport that I just cannot grasp what's going on. And I'm not saying that I mastered those other sports by watching them. Don't get me wrong. But there was kind of football, 4 downs, 1st and 10.
Right.
It's kind of self-explanatory.
Sure.
With soccer, it's just, the clock is always running, but yet nobody really knows how much time is on the clock.
That is one issue that I would change if I could get involved. I would tell them that one thing that they should do is when there's an injury or a goal or some reason that you would count time wasted, I would just stop the clock. This whole thing of letting the clock run, and then after you hit the 45 minutes, the referee goes, add 8 minutes, add 7 minutes. I think that's bad for strategy. There's a lot of reasons. To me, if there's a goal scored and you're waiting for the guys to get back into midfield, stop the clock. If the guy gets injured and you're coming out to deal with him, stop the clock and then restart it. That way you don't deal with extra time. It's retarded.
This is international rules, so to speak, no?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So, if more of the world does it this way, I mean,
No,
and
it's
us
done
not
this way
being soccer
everywhere.
fans.
No, it's everywhere. And again, I was talking to somebody about it today at work, and we were going over things that we would change. And I said, it's the most popular sport outside of the U.S. So obviously, whatever they're doing works. People like the sport; they love it. They're passionate about it. And I would tell you, I was sitting in the airport, and there were people huddled around the bar 3 and 4 deep to watch the game. And what I would
But
say
you
is
being at an airport, God only knows how many different countries were involved
agreed, but
at that point in time.
even in Manhattan, even being in Florida, you would walk by a bar and there's a game on, and it would be packed. And what I would say is this: I've watched every sport. We talk about them all here. Other than football, I would tell you it's probably the biggest bar sport around. Like you don't go to walk down the street in Manhattan and there's a bar, maybe except for the World Series. I'm not even sure about that. Maybe in the town that the World Series they're playing, but you wouldn't go down to see a big game and the bars are packed and the people are strolling the streets. Again, if it's a Yankee World Series and you go around Yankee Stadium, sure you will. Same as any other place. But the enthusiasm of people being packed into a bar to root for two teams, boy, oh boy, that's a lot of fun. And again, I'm not watching soccer regularly, and I get the fact that people don't like the sport. It's to me, it's not exciting. It's one of those sports, Jeff, where it's it's almost like hockey on a power play, and one team, the team on the power play, is just passing the puck. And they're waiting for that one shot. You know what I mean? The puck goes back to the point, and then it goes down behind the net, and they kick it to the wing, and the wing kicks it back behind the net, and he kicks it out to the other point, and then he slides it to the other point. That is the boring part of hockey, but it's strategy, right? Like you're
Hockey. I understand the point what you're saying, but the difference is, at any given moment, a guy could rip 100-mile-an-hour slap shot from the blue line and possibly score. But hockey's a nonstop sport.
Correct.
Of all of these guys going after a puck. Soccer is also a nonstop sport. But if you don't know the rules of soccer and you don't understand the game, you're just going to look and you're like, well, why isn't this guy kicking the ball? And the guy's not going to kick the ball from the mid fucking line or the blue line, whatever it is they call it in hockey and soccer. And it's just amazing how like defensemen hang back and there's midfielders and forwards and everything else. And, it's just a game. If you don't know the game, you're just not going to get into it. That's all there is to it.
No, I'm with you. I got it. And just to put a pin in it, the U.S. had a ton of goodwill. They had a good 3-4 games, but their last game was really kind of embarrassing. I have to tell you, it seemed like they had no enthusiasm. They had no drive. There was too many guys standing around. Their best player did not put out an effort. I watched the game. And it was Belgium scores, the U.S. scored behind them, then Belgium scored again, and it looked like the life just came out of the Americans, and they had no chance to win. And then they give up a fluke goal. The goalie blew it. What a horrendous goal he gave up, and the game was over. At that point, first half, that game was over, and it was kind of embarrassing for the U.S. But there's a lot of talent there, and hopefully in 4 years they'll be back. And yes, Frankie, that's the other thing. One guy got thrown out of the was it France-Morocco game? One of the games, the guy, clearly dove. They called a yellow card, which is kind of a severe penalty on one player. The referee decided to review the penalty, and it turned out the guy wasn't even touched, and he just flopped. He wound up getting a red card, which is basically an ejection card. It means you're out of the game. 2 yellow cards at any point, one game or another, and you're also get a red card. So that guy who flopped got thrown out. Bottom line is that's the biggest problem, Jeff. You watch the game, and two guys come together and they call it a tackle. Like one guy slides it to the other guy to knock the ball away, and the one guy goes down, and you would think he just ruptured his ankle, his Achilles, his knee popped out of the socket. And his heart fell out through his kneecap, and then a minute later, the guy's up and running, sprinting down the field.
Yeah, I know.
That is the one thing that annoys me about the sport. Flopping, to me, they should review every one of those as the game's going, and if they catch a guy flopping like that, he should be thrown out of that game and the next game. It's worse than LeBron playing basketball. It is horrendous. But
fuck soccer.
Yeah, again, I just wanted to bring it up because it was such a big thing going on while we were away, and while the 250, and it was a great story and again, should be a fantastic game. Sunday, 3:00, Argentina and Spain. Messi at 39 years old playing great soccer. So I wanted to get that in and make sure we talked about that a little bit. Jeff, we are less than a week away from a very significant anniversary and a very sad time. And that would be 1 year anniversary of Ozzy passing.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and we'll be on the air next week and all, but we'll be doing a lot of football. And I said I didn't want to get into anything but football next Thursday when we have our NFL training camp show. To me, that's our show. We talk football, but I did not want this time to go past without talking about Ozzy and reflecting on the year since Ozzy's been gone. And, while maybe not significant in our lives in the sense of day to day, there was a sense of you kind of waited for what the next Ozzy thing, even though like Ozzy kind of faded into the past a little bit. You still were wondering when he was going to pop up on TV or some show or another concert. And it's a year now, and it's like, we're not going to have that. Have you had any reflections on Ozzy and not being here and the times you have gotten to see him in concert and his career? Have you had any reflections over the past year since Ozzy's been gone?
Yeah, on some levels, yeah, because here's somebody that you've been dealing with or have known about in your life since you're like 13, 14, 15 years old. I was first exposed to him. I remember hearing Paranoid and War Pigs, but not knowing who Ozzy was. Mm-hmm. And then once I went into high school, which I was 14, he was everywhere because he put out the Blizzard of Oz album and everything else. And it was just, a different time. You were young, impressionable. And now here you go, and you got Ozzy and Black Sabbath doing their own thing. And then you find out Ozzy wasn't Black Sabbath, and this is what they did, but this is what they're doing now. This is what he's doing now. It was a different time. And, that's something that throughout the years he'd pop up, whether it was TV shows or you hear that interview with him, he couldn't even talk. And, and now that's it. It's over. It's done. It's done. The one good thing out of it is that Sharon's been quiet, it seems. We don't get much in the way of her.
Have you seen Sharon?
Last I seen, she looked like she's dead.
Her and the daughter, but holy cow, she can't weigh 8 pounds. She looks like if she ate a McDonald's French fry, it would bloat her like she was a Nigerian refugee. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you.
Yeah, I know that she's in neither one of them are very attractive.
No.
Not at all. And she doesn't look anything at all like she did when she first met Ozzy.
Oh,
she
my God.
She is hideous looking.
Yeah. I mean, besides the fact there's been way too much. Hold on.
The sad part is that, it just goes to show, I don't know what her thoughts are, but, Ozzy's not here no more, and she's irrelevant.
Yeah, I guess the only reason she was relevant was because of Ozzy, and
to
me, it just hit me the other day. I remember being in Florida last year for 4th of July and after, and watching the last Sabbath show, with Ozzy on while I was down there, and then shortly thereafter him passing, and then being down there now, you kind of was thinking about it, and I was like, it was such a huge chunk of your life. Like, growing up in the 80s, Ozzy was everywhere, and Sabbath and the new band and, all the off stuff. And then in the 90s with the TV shows and, Howard Stern and Ozzy's been that pop culture icon. Besides being a metal icon, he was a pop culture icon for our generation, and one that probably will not ever be replaced, at least in our generation.
No, that music is over. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's very sad. You're never gonna get somebody else like him. It's
yeah,
just not gonna happen. And it's a shame. It
yeah.
really is a shame that the way that the world is. But this is the way it is with music streaming and everything else. Music is completely different. You're not gonna get anybody to replace these guys
No,
once
it's
they're gone, man. It's a shame.
very true. Very, very true. I'm just looking up some stuff here. Hold on a second. Yeah. So again, I just wanted to reflect on the passing of Oz, and you go back, we listen to the music. You can YouTube and see him and all that stuff that goes with it. But I forgot about the best. I didn't know I'd have that. Okay. Yeah, we're going to talk about the best Maiden albums and why. We'll do that after. Anyway, but yeah, I just figured I wanted to bring that up a little bit tonight and chat about Oz. And let me ask you, and I need you to be. I know where your heart will be, but let me ask you this question: is Ozzy's biggest contributions to his legacy? We'll start with that. His biggest part of his legacy, is it Sabbath, solo Ozzy, or pop culture Ozzy?
Oh, well, pop culture Ozzy, without a fucking doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah, because I
Without a doubt.
think
He's more famous for that. Because there were people that were like, oh, he sang in Black Sabbath. They didn't
yeah,
realize who he was.
yeah, I think I would. Now let me ask you: take out the pop culture Ozzy. Was Ozzy's career bigger with Sabbath or solo? Was the solo career bigger?
I think at one time it was,
And
but
overall, just take it overall. Ozzy had a 10-year run with Sabbath. He had a 20-year run on his own. Let's call it.
oh, yeah, more than 20 years, man.
Whatever. I'm making it as simple, as close as I can. Was Ozzy's impact in the music industry and his
His
legacy?
solo stuff, I feel, because first of all, it was more than 20 years. It was almost 40 years.
Correct. You're right. It's 80 through 2010. 2020. Yeah.
Yeah. He was into the 2020s. He
Yeah.
was still
Yeah.
touring himself. It's hard to deny what he did, and Sabbath comes in third. It's just that's what launched him.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, anybody would take either one of the three things that he did with his life. I know I would. I'd be
Oh,
happy with either one of the three
oh,
because
100%.
because he was famous. He never had to work a day in his life.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think you're 200% correct. I think that is absolutely 100% correct. I want to change that to Chargers. Okay. Yeah. So again, I just wanted to celebrate Oz a little bit this week. We got a lot to get to. I do want to get it all up on the air tonight as best we can. Again, remember, guys, next week we celebrate our start of our 13th year, our 12th anniversary right here, where we started July 24th, 2014 with the NFL training camp show. And we kick off one day before that anniversary date, but we kick off our 13th year on the air with the NFL Training Camp Show 2026. So I hope you'll tune in. I don't know if we'll have any guests, but you will be with us, and we'll have some fun, and we'll break down the entire season, which we are looking forward to. A lot of let's not talk too much football, Jeff, other than to say, do you feel like there's a lot of optimism in the New York area with both teams, one team? Do you feel that there's some cause for optimism this year for either? No,
No,
for neither
no,
team, either team.
not really. Neither
Really?
one of them is going to be playing in January.
I won't
I'll say
argue
that
that.
much.
I won't argue that. I do feel
Do I
now.
think they're going to get better? I think they'll be a little bit better, but nobody's playing in January.
Yeah. I think the first step for both teams is to still be playing relevant games in December. Instead of being in October. And listen, we'll go to the schedules next week. But there's an easy chance. I've looked at the Jet schedule, but there's an easy chance in the Giant schedule that they're 1-3 after 4 games. I mean, there's always the chance. But we'll get to that next week. But I do have some optimism, and I hope that both my optimism's a little tempered with the Jets because of what's been going on with your quarterback and all of that.
Well,
but
it
that
looks
is
like
tempered.
he's clear right now.
Well, he got cleared of the assault charge and all that stuff. That's
Yeah.
good news. He does seem to be driving around without a wallet in somebody else's car at very high speeds and getting pulled over a lot. So
Listen, if I was using your car, I'd try to find all the red light cameras.
it's very true. Very true. So, but I do have some optimism this year. I do think that you will see a significant uptick in both teams. I don't think the seasons will be over in October like they were the last few years. I think they will be playing some meaningful games. Doesn't mean we're going to get to January and have any football, but I think that a first step is let's get to December and still be mathematically involved.
Yeah, I hear that.
That's the first thing. So, okay. So we're going to stay away from too much football because we're going to do a lot of football content next week. Thank you all tuning in. That's Jeff and I'm Tom. We're here at Hard Rock and Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey, and of course in Staten Island. We thank you guys for tuning in and being part of the Hard Rock and Sports Show. Jeff, I'm going to go. Well, first off, I know you didn't watch much of the All-Star game.
I didn't watch any of the All-Star game.
Yeah, I did watch
I guess that was yesterday, right?
It was yesterday. I did
I had
catch
band practice.
about 5 batters of the home run derby, which I'm tired of. I only tuned in because I want to see Ben Rice, who plays for the Yankees. I want to see Ben Rice swinging the bat, and he didn't do very well. But I don't really care for it anymore. I don't think there's any incentive to see it anymore. Again, for me, if it was Aaron Judge and Mike Trout and Bryce Harper and I know Harper competed because it was in Philadelphia, but maybe if it was a bigger array of stars, maybe Ohtani, I might have tuned in for it. But I remember going to the All-Star game home run derby in '99 in Boston, and I know for sure I saw Griffey, Bonds, McGuire, Sosa. That was a home run derby. Guys hitting them onto Lansdowne Street. It was great. Again, I know there's some stars in there. For me, it wasn't, and I'm tired of it. And as far as the All-Star game, the only thing I'll say is it was competitive, and they all wore their team uniforms. Jeff, for me, that's
I like that.
I wanted them going back to the team uniforms. They did it, and I was happy. No more of these bullshit uniforms. I thought that at least that was great. So I did not watch it. It is the only one that is even fairly, I won't say competitive. I would just say where you can take it seriously. The other sports, their All-Star games are a waste of time. Hockey should do the Four Nations tournament. I think it was great. That I would do every year. Go ahead.
It is competitive because these guys, for the most part, aren't going to get hurt. I mean, I'm sure that you're not going to get a guy that's going to run into the wall for a line, a fly ball.
Yeah, but
I mean, they're for the most part going to play pretty hard because, chances are they're not going to get injured seriously if, God forbid, they get hurt. Maybe they tweak a muscle, but baseball is a lot different than a physical sport such as, even basketball. With all the jumping, these guys, if they come down the wrong way, that's it, man. Oh my God, I don't even want to think about it.
Nope, I got it. Again, I do want to remind everybody that this show, you can find every episode of this show, as I found out last week, every episode of the show on Spotify. Go to Spotify, go to podcasts, and look up Hard Rock and Sports, and you can see all 500 plus episodes of the show. Lita Ford, Mark Farner, Tommy John, Geezer Butler, George Foreman, Pete Rose, the very first show, Jeff's very first appearance. They're all there for you to see, to hear. So if you got a minute and you're killing time, download some shows. I downloaded every show before Blog Talk went off the air, and I lost the thumb drive. So I have to try to find a way to recover this off of that. You cannot direct download. Like you can download and play it, but you cannot download it and save it onto another computer. I saved the Geezer Butler when I sent it to you. So if you ever want to listen to yourself interview Geezer Butler,
yeah, except I gotta go on Spotify.
Yes,
and I don't have Spotify, and I had an account at one time, so I don't know what it is. So now it's a problem.
Yeah,
but I'll figure it out.
Yeah. So anyway, same thing for me. I didn't know it either. I had to go in and go back and figure out my account, and now I can listen to every show. I think next week I'm going to be able to play at least the first beginning of the very first episode. I'll be able to share the screen and get it on the air. So we'll be able to hear what I sounded like the very, very first time I flipped on a microphone 12 years ago. So, but Jeff, I'm going to give you two choices. We can go 5 NFL uniforms that need to be changed, or top 5 Maiden albums and why.
Well, it wasn't the top 5 Maiden albums, but
which one was the topic?
The best Maiden album.
Okay, okay. Either way,
let's do the uniforms. Let's do the uniforms.
Okay, so I can try to bring them up on the screen the best I can. So if you want to tell me which ones you would change, I can try. But go ahead.
You could start off with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, perfect.
If you want, okay, and I'll tell you why. I have never once in my entire life, ever seen a fucking green eagle.
That's very true.
I've never seen a green and silver eagle. And Anthony, I got to kind of disagree with you. The Cleveland Browns uniform is kind of a throwback from, back when they first started coming out with uniforms like that. And it's simplistic, but it's back to their roots. But when you look at the Philadelphia uniforms, I think that they should do something with a better, instead of having a set of wings on the helmet, put an eagle or something on the helmet. Find a way to actually incorporate an eagle more into the uniform, and maybe some eagle colors. No.
Well, eagles are what, brown and white?
It depends on the eagle you're talking about. But then again, not for nothing, you are talking about Philadelphia. Pretty much where the country was birthed.
Yeah.
So to come up with a little bit better than the eagle on the arm there.
Yeah.
Would be kind of cool. Maybe change the colors instead of green and white. Go with a red, white, and blue for that team, and put an eagle or some kind on their helmets one way or another. That's just me. I'm sure we all have uniforms we'd like to see get changed, but did the Eagles have a full eagle? I thought they just had the wings.
Let's see. Hold on. History.
I don't think they ever did.
Philly.
I know they went from like a Kelly green almost to a dark green, a forest green.
Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to bring up the history of the Philadelphia Eagle helmets. Let's see if I can get them all. Yep, I think I can here, Jeff.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hold on. I have that kind of ability. So this, can you see them?
I can. All it is a wing, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't see any here that have a full-on eagle on their helmet. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I don't see a full. They're all wings. Yeah, I mean, I would say if you ask me, boy, oh boy, I don't know which one I like best. I mean, maybe number 7 is probably the nicest one. Number 2 is not terrible either. So that's
1, 2, 7, and 9 look all similar.
Yeah.
Some of them are not so good, but I just don't see the point of the Philadelphia Eagles. What does green have to do with Philadelphia? So that's me.
All right. So your first one is the Eagles. Go ahead. Where else would you go next?
The Carolina Panthers, another team named after an animal, and I have never once ever seen a black, blue, or silver panther anywhere. Well, I've seen a Black Panther,
True.
but I just think that they're bland, they're boring looking uniforms. If I was an NFL player and they were going to give me 50 million a year, I'd be like, but I don't have to wear that uniform, do I? If you change the uniform, I may consider, but no, I can never sign there. I just don't like those uniforms at all, and they haven't done much to change them.
No, that's
It
basically what
seems.
you're looking at right there.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't dig those at all.
Okay,
Don't dig
I'm
those at
with you.
all.
I don't think it's terrible, but they're not what I would go with. So I agree with you.
My next one is the New York Jets.
I'm with you on that one. Go
I,
ahead.
I feel as though that the Jets, every time that they go to change their uniform, the only time that they did anything that looked remotely cool was when they went to the black uniforms, and then they don't really use them that much. That they're like total alternative uniforms. Like they're so far down the line, it's like that. And another one that I think should incorporate a jet somewhere along the line on their helmet. Do something on their helmet. I mean, look at that. That looks like, I don't know. That does nothing for me. Does absolutely nothing for me.
Yeah, I would also tell you that again. I would go. I'm in my part of the segment. I'm going to say they should go back to the Joe Namath uniforms. I think those were the best
Well,
uniforms they ever had,
right
bar
now,
none.
with that picture you have right there, which
Yeah.
would be on my left, I'm looking at the screen,
Mhm.
the white one and the black one. I could see, all right, you want to make that your home and away? That's fine. Ditch the Kelly
Mhm.
Green ones. Ditch the Kelly Green ones. Put the black around the fucking number.
Mhm.
Go all black for home. Go white and green or white and black, white with black pants or something for away. Update the uniform a little bit. This is a team that hasn't done anything since 1969.
Mhm.
It can't hurt to change the uniform. You know, you're
Yeah.
not going to
No. Yeah.
mess with the chemistry of what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. I'm with you. I just like I said, I think that they've made some mistakes. I think there was a time when they did have a jet on the helmet. I'm trying to think back when that was, but
If they did, it was within the football that of their name it style logo jerseys. They never had. Oh, they had like a tail
mhm.
on the word Jets. Like it wasn't a full blown jet on there.
Yeah.
But there's so many different things that they could do. Put a stealth jet or whatever, anything, something.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I have it here. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I was trying to. Just the jerseys are popping up. I wanted to get the whole look, but I'm not getting it. So, all right. So we got the Eagles, you got the Panthers, the Jets. I'm with you, and the Jets should change theirs. Go ahead.
Next up, I got the Chicago Bears.
Now, really? Now, I think that's
Yeah,
iconic.
well, it is, yes. But once again, another team named after an animal that doesn't come in the colors of their choosing. Okay, if they should either go with black or revamp the uniform. Uh, I've never seen a awkwardly colored navy blue bear like that before. I feel as though that I was at a wedding. You know what I mean? It just didn't make no sense to me. I just don't like the colors. Uh, there's just nothing about the uniform that does anything for me. That's not black. That's blue,
It is blue.
and I just don't like it. It don't look blue. It looks black. If it was black, I wouldn't have as much of a problem with it. I have a problem with it because it's blue.
So you're saying because bears are generally brown bears or black bears, polar bears, even there's
Yep.
no navy blue bear.
Yeah. But I mean, even Yogi don't have friends that are navy blue.
That's very true. Yeah, I would disagree only because I think it's iconically it's an iconic. I love the helmet. It's an iconic jersey. I love the uniform. So I would disagree with that, but I can see your point. It
I'm sure
doesn't
there's a
kind of
lot of
match up.
people. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would disagree with me, but you're also talking a uniform that has not changed in God knows how many
Oh yeah,
years.
yeah. I don't think it's ever changed. I mean,
I mean, me
yeah.
personally, it doesn't do much for me.
Okay, that's fair
That,
enough. Go
that's
ahead.
that's all I could say, and I just don't like the colors. And to me, I just don't. Nah, it's not for me.
Go ahead.
And then the last team on my list, I think you may agree with this one. Uh, it's just the design of the uniform. It's always bland to me. Okay, although the colors are nice, but it's just bland, and that's the fucking Houston Texans. This is a new team that really hasn't done much with their uniform since their first year out in the league, and like I don't know, like their color rush uniform when they have the all blue. Like just do something different with your uniform. Do something different. Change the logo a little bit. Change the color pattern. Come up with something. Give us something different other than what you're giving us. It's just a bland uniform. Like if they went to the Super Bowl, they don't have like anything about their uniform. Like you look at the 49ers, they got nice rich maroon, gold helmet. The Patriots, they like an American type logo with a Patriot on the side, the silver. That to me is looks like a college uniform.
Well, I don't disagree. I do like the helmet. I'm not disagreeing that it's kind of collegey. I do love. I've always liked their helmet. I don't know why. I'm a big fan of the helmet, but I do understand your point. I don't.
I
I
just
wouldn't
think it's
buy it.
time for a change. There's how many other teams
Frankie, I
have
agree with you.
changed uniforms? How many times since this team has come in the league? And I have to go back and forth. And Frank, I'm sorry, I got to disagree about the Packers. Them to me, because even though I ripped all over the Chicago uniform, it's kind of like a throwback old time uniform. Them, the Steelers, the Bears. These are teams where these uniforms, the Cowboys, Raiders, they're kind of iconic. But I personally don't like some of those uniforms. That's just me.
Yeah, I,
But
I agree with I agree with you. I like the Packer uniforms. To me, that's just old school.
simplicity, but it's
Yeah,
still they didn't change them really much at
no,
all
no,
since they
yeah,
started playing with those.
100%. I like the Pack uniforms. Again, the Texans, I love the helmets. Um, but yeah, again, I'm not a big fan. I don't know necessarily if I love the uniform generally, but I don't dislike it. It didn't make my list, but their helmet to me, I love the helmet. It's pretty
The
cool.
the the Texans helmet.
Yes, the Texans helmet, I love it. I love it. But the Packer uniform, I love the Packers uniform. I do. It's one of those uniforms. Steelers, Packers. I hate to say it, the Cowboys. They should never change or alter their uniforms. I mean, to me, they're
The Raiders,
Raiders. Yeah, I'm with you
the,
on that one.
the
There are four or
Redskins.
five. Well, again, that's gonna Redskins are on my list because they should go back to their uniforms. As hideous as those were, they're better than what they got today. So that's gonna be on my list. But there are four or five teams that basically run around with the same uniforms, and they should never change them. That they're just icon. Pittsburgh, the Packers, the Raiders, Cowboys. And the Browns, again. I know that Anthony said that. I get it. They're not the greatest uniforms in the world.
Oh, you know what it is?
It's
It's
iconic.
first of all, what's a Brown?
Yeah,
What's a Brown?
I know it's named after the owner. It's named after the owner, Paul Brown.
Yeah, well, okay, that's fine. But like if you say like the Cleveland Browns,
Mhm.
well, what's a Brown? And one for that I want to give honorary mention to.
Sure.
I know you're going to totally disagree with this one, but fuck it. The New York Giants.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I
I
agree
think
with you.
okay. I think the best looking uniforms they ever had was that dark blue with Giants on the side of the helmet, with the colors, the nice bright colors, the red, the white. I think it was a beautiful uniform.
I agree.
I just think it was the best uniform they ever had. I hated when they went with the gray and red. That
I'm
blue
with
was
you.
kind of like a faded blue. It just was not for me, man. Not for me at all.
It's number one on my list. I'm a Giant fan. I don't dislike the new uniforms. I would rather see him go back to those uniforms. I hate the Steelers. I hate the Steelers on one side of the helmet. I know the reason why. I don't know the reason why, Frankie. Please put
Yeah,
it up.
neither do I. And when I was a kid, I thought that they had it on both sides. And then when I saw it when it's only on the one side, I'm like, why is that?
Yeah,
That
I'm not sure.
looks stupid. It's like
Yeah,
they ran out of money for decals.
I would not change that uniform. I think it's iconic. It's just one of those uniforms that they should never wear any other uniform but that. Throw away all those fake uniforms they wear here and there. Either one, the black or even the white jerseys, because the steel is stamped on one side. Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, interesting. But yeah, I disagree. So my list
Oh, okay.
kind of incorporates
But
a little bit of Jeff. Go
that that has got to be one of the stupidest fucking excuses
Yeah,
for a logo on one side of the helmet, though.
I guess.
I understand, and thank you for bringing that up, Frank, because I never knew that. But I mean, that is like nobody knew that. Nobody knew that. I've been watching football since I'm 12 years old, and I never knew that. Now here it is, 48 years later, I finally find out.
I just realized they've added a whole bunch of new things, technology into StreamYard, and one of them is polls. So, like, if we're talking and say who's got the best uniform, Steelers or Cowboys, I could put up a poll and people can respond, and we can get an opinion of all the people watching. We can actually have some fun with this. So we'll have to keep
well,
that in
we
mind.
need more than just me, you, and Frankie, though.
That's
Or
very
it
true.
ends
Well,
up in a
Anthony's
three-way
there.
tie, you know.
That's very true. That's very true. We need a fifth. So, but
yeah, I got to take a quick squirt, please, and then
Yeah.
I want to hear your list. I'm looking forward to this.
All right, Hard Rocket Sports. It's Jeff and I'm Tom. We're every Thursday night. Thanks for tuning in. While Jeff's popping out to take care of business, one thing I was reading the paper about a week or two ago, and they were talking about the Nick dynasty. I went, boy, how fast things have changed. They went from a franchise that took 50-something years to win a championship, and now we're actually talking about Nick dynasty. Guys, I'm praying. Listen, I hope for another good season. I would love to see them do it back-to-back, but it doesn't happen very much at all. And a lot of good things have to happen. And the Knicks run was magical. You don't win games the way they did, especially in the finals where you were down double digits in every game, 29 points at the half in one of them, and you win. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen like that. So this was a magic ride, and it may be 53 years before the next one. I don't know. But I will tell you, I don't want to start talking about Nick dynasty. Let's hope for a 50-something win season, a shot into the playoffs, and a good run. And yeah, if it ends on a championship, hey, listen, I'm all in. But boy, oh boy, how fast things turn. 2 years ago, even in the middle of this year, they want to trade Cat, get rid of this one. Brunson's overrated. Did we make the right choice at head coach? Now we're talking about everybody's back, and we're gonna win. We're gonna be a dynasty. Boy, oh boy. Okay, Frankie, give me your question.
All right.
Feeling better?
Yeah.
Just hang in 1 second. Frankie's got a Yankee question for me.
Okay.
So we'll do that, and then I'll give you my five.
I missed it.
Would you trade for Lindor? That's an interesting conversation, Frankie. Theoretically, the Yankees should go all out to get a guy like Lindor for this year, 100%. He'd be a significant upgrade. Between Volpe and the rest of them, you can even have him for a year or two till Lombard's ready, and maybe turn it over to him. Personally, I don't like the guy. I think he's a cancer. I was right, by the way, Frankie. I told you there was an issue with the two of him and Soto, and Cohen came out. It was in the Post a couple weeks ago where he had to sit them down and try to kind of get them on the same page, and it doesn't sound like it worked. So whatever the reason is, it seems like the one guy that most people don't seem to like, and it might be his wife and not him, is Lindor. Again, I see now. I would not trade Lombard for Lindor. Lindor is 32, and the way he's trending, I don't think he's going to be able to sustain any sort of a high level in a couple years. The injuries are more. It's significant on the downtime. For this year, I would make that trade. I would not take that trade and give up a big piece like that. Would I trade a Spencer Jones? Maybe. A Lombard? No. Long term, I want Lombard to be my shortstop if I can. But again, I got you. But Cohen himself came out and said, I had to bring them in and sit them down and have a conversation. So there's obviously an issue. Whether Soto wants to say, no, we're fine. The owner of the team said, I actually had to step in and sit them down and have a conversation to see if I can fix the problem. They may say, oh, no, but there's obviously some sort of thought process. So I'm not telling you they hate each other. I'm just telling you it's been widely reported in a lot of places that Lindor is not the most popular teammate, and that he's the reason that some guys got traded and not signed because of issues in the clubhouse. Go listen to what's his name, Thor, the pitcher. He makes it pretty clear. There's a lot of little stuff. So would I trade for Lindor for the right package? I would. I think he would help this Yankee team. If especially for this year. Problem is you're stuck with him for another 4 or 5 years, and that part bothers me because I don't think he'll outlast the contract. So the answer is yes, but it would have to be where you're going to use him this year, maybe next year, and then you're going to move on to one of the young kids coming up because I think he's on the downward trend at this point. So. No, I again agreed, Frankie, 100%. But it's a different time in baseball. Back then, it was different than it is now. You can hate each other, go out there and play the game. I don't think it's the same. And from what I have seen and heard, it wasn't Lindor. It was Lindor's wife and a bunch of the other wives and girlfriends didn't get along, and it turned into a big problem in the clubhouse. So. Again, I'm not making something out of nothing. I would definitely take him as my shortstop. I would just want it to be for no more than 2 years. Mets might pay him to go get better. Yeah, they might. Again, they may take half his contract, take on some good prospects. The Yankees got a couple things. I just don't want to give up Lombard. I think he may actually be the shortstop of the future. I don't think Volpe's going to have to move to second base or they got to move on, one or the other. So we'll talk a little about maybe Mets and Yankees a little bit. Let me get my 5 uniforms in, Jeff. I agree with you on the Giants, and this is in no special order. I love those. I didn't think I did, but even now when I play Madden, I've changed the uniform to the 1980s Giants version to just the uniform. They have the Giants on the helmet. They got the dark blue uniform, sharp white pants. I'm all in. I agree with you. The Giants should go back to those uniforms full time. They use them as the throwbacks. I don't mind the red jersey once in a blue moon, once a year.
Well, they can make that their alternate.
Yeah, once a year. But I'm kind of tired of the new faded blue with the gray pants and the NY. I'd like to see it go back. The Jets are another one. I'm tired of it. You have an iconic uniform. It really is iconic, and I don't know why the Jets and that I think a lot of that's part of some teams don't have an identity. The Jets have one. 69. Those uniforms of that era are spectacular. They may be the best, some of the best uniforms around.
But you know what? Look at the Winnipeg Jets in hockey. What they did with their
those jerseys. You watch them run the score up on your team.
What they did with their uniforms. They got a big jet in the middle of the chest. Now I understand a hockey jersey and football jersey, 2 different things, but they revamped their jersey and it looks great. It's something different. For with the money that the NFL teams try to make on uniforms and everything else that they push down our throats, make some cooler jerseys. Come on.
Yep, I agree.
If we could sit here, the 3 of us, and come up with different things here, these people have marketing people.
Correct.
Make a fucking better uniform. Come on.
100%. Okay. Next one for me is the Redskins. Here's what I'll say. We had a show a few years back where we decided those were the worst uniforms in football. Ronald McDonald colors, everybody made fun of them, but the helmet was iconic. And what you got now in this Commander helmet is ridiculous. Now, I'd even say go back to the ones that look like the Florida State uniform with the arrowhead, with the spear on the side. I'd even say go back to that one. But currently, they are the worst uniforms in football. The Washington Commanders uniforms suck. Go back to being the Washington Redskins and bring back the jerseys with the helmet. It's iconic. I'm sorry.
I like the colors that the Redskins have.
Okay.
Especially the newer Redskins than as opposed to their old uniforms.
Okay.
But you want to know something? They're not going to go back. And who knows if this team will ever go back to being the Redskins. Hopefully one day they do.
Yeah, again, there's been some talk. A lot of ex-players, alumni, a lot of people are pushing for it. I think the climate is getting there. I just don't know if the owners have the balls to do it. It may be small. It may be short. They're talking about changing the uniform back to something like that, but keeping it, not calling it the Redskins. So we'll say, but I do love that old helmet. I think it's iconic. I still see Joe Theismann with the single bar running around, and I think I like to see the Redskins go back to that. Next one up is the Chargers. Go back to the Dan Fouts, Air Coryell uniforms. Those were better than what we run around with now. I don't like the new Charger uniforms. Go back and give me the old ones. And finally, the Patriots. If I'm the Patriots, give me back the guy with snapping the ball on the helmet, the iconic red jerseys. The new ones are nice. You called it. They're very nice uniforms. They're patriotic. I get it, but give me those old school Steve Grogan. Steve Grogan, John Hanna, Sam Bam Cunningham uniforms. I
just think those look too cartoonish for today's NFL. I don't like the Patriots. I do like the colors. I think they should be more towards the color of the flag, though. That red, white, and blue to match the flag more so than what they are now. I don't think they're terrible uniforms. Me personally, I hate watching them because they're the Patriots.
Yeah.
But that old uniform, it was 70s, 80s. Reminds me of you remember School Rock? Remember that?
Oh, yes.
I'm just a Bill and type shit like that.
Course, yeah.
That's what the guy with the cannonball or the football, whatever it was, that it reminds me of it. I think the new Patriots, our logo and stuff looks cool for what it is.
Okay.
That's me.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But again, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying if you were giving me the option, I'm going back to those helmets. I thought they were great, and I want to go. For my kind of honorable mention, Miami Dolphins. Give me back the old Miami Dolphin helmets.
I was thinking of those too. I really was. They've changed their uniform a couple times.
Yeah,
not so much the colors, but the styles.
Yes.
It's almost like they changed the font.
Yeah, they changed the helmet a little bit. Go back to the Dan Marino, 1970s, 80s Dolphins. That's iconic. The old patch format. Yeah, me too, Frankie. I've decided that at some point in my life, I am going to try and collect every one of those old helmets from the 70s. Every 70s football team. If I had a bar, I would have every 70s NFL helmet hanging on a shelf someplace. I think they're great.
If you wait another 10 years, you could have my 70-year-old helmet. I'll let you have that.
It's too shriveled and small.
Well, remember the ones they used to get in the gumball machines?
Yes, of course.
Like that.
Yes, of course. Again, Hard Rock.
And just like the single bar, it don't work.
Yes, very true. Very true. But yeah, give me those iconic uniforms. And yeah, Frankie, the Chargers, I don't know what they're trying for nowadays. I would rather them go back to those powder blue ones from the 60s rather than the ones they're wearing today.
God, they're horrible.
They are, but I'd rather than that than the ones they have today.
Go back to the dark blue, like you said, man.
Yeah, the dark blue with the yellow lightning bolt on it. Those are iconic. Those are great. I get the fact that the teams in the NFL want to sell jerseys. I get it. But make these other jerseys kind of like an alternate this year and an alternate next year. But stay with the ones that are just if the Packers or the Steelers or the Cowboys change their jerseys, somebody should go there and beat them with a stick. And
I don't think they would be allowed to change certain teams.
And these other teams should learn from that. The other teams should learn and say, let's have a tradition. Let's have a jersey that is iconic and that every guy wears it. And I think that take the Yankees, the Dodgers, they're iconic uniforms. And to me, that's part of an identity. You're a team that's identity. Yeah, I hate the Chiefs uniforms. I got to be honest with you. They're like bad Redskin uniforms. Like it's terrible. I hate them.
I don't mind them. I kind of like them. They're different.
I'm with Frank.
They're different.
The Raider jerseys, the Cowboy jerseys, the Steeler jerseys. They're just iconic.
49ers shouldn't be changed.
Yeah, Packers. again, the Lions go back to those, the Billy Sims, Barry Sanders uniforms. Now they got all these crazy different colors and the helmets changed. Dude, please,
Yeah,
I
but
hate it.
Tom, that's all to generate money because, somewhere in Detroit right now, there's some kid that's on the floor of his house because there's a shootout, and he's probably worried about getting blasted. But instead of him getting shot, maybe one of his Detroit Lion helmets had just got knocked off the shelf by a stray bullet. You don't know.
No, I certainly get it, and I understand why it's done and all of that good shit. I just don't agree with it. To me, your jersey should be iconic. It should be what
I see Frankie talking a lot of smack about other teams' uniforms.
Uh,
So let's gang up on him and make his fucking night and rip apart the Denver Broncos uniforms. I think
yeah,
that the orange crush uniforms.
yeah.
I never liked those because of the horse on the side, and I think the best uniforms they had was when Peyton Manning was playing with them, and they had the dark blue jerseys and dark blue helmets with that like new logo on it. I wouldn't want to see them go back to the big D on this side of their helmet. I never liked that one.
Oh no, okay.
No,
I'm a
I
fan
could see
of
using that as the alternate.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see using the orange crush uniform as the alternate, but I just don't. I never liked it. Oh, it's not for me.
Okay, it's fair. Again, I'm probably more of those '70s uniforms. I don't mind them. I don't like the current version very well. I'm not a big fan of it.
What is the current version? Is it what I just said it was? Or
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Really? You don't like that one?
No, I'm not a fan of it. I don't dislike it. Their helmets are always nice. I like the helmets. I do. I'm probably a bigger fan of the helmets than the jerseys, but give me those Randy Gradishaw uniforms. That's the ones I liked. Even into the 80s when they changed those over to those dark blue ones when Elway kind of changed them over. I like those ones from the 70s. You know what I'm talking about, Jeff? You know the ones that kind of lighter blue. Let me see if I can get you John Elway.
It was a lighter blue.
Yeah, John Elway.
Was I kind of remember the ones that he had. Kind of. I don't know if they changed.
Yeah,
if they revamped them since he wore them.
I got a perfect picture. Hold on a second. Oh my God. Let's share this now for you, Jeff. This is the one I like.
That one?
Yeah, I love this uniform.
Now the one, a red shirt?
It's kind of it's orange. It's probably the color of the thing. It's orange. I call them the Orange Crush. This is the uniform. If I were them, I love the helmet with the
I like the one that was really orange.
Okay,
this
real,
is the like
one
Fanta.
That came next. This is the one that came next. I'm not a fan. Not terrible. Helmet's nice. It's not terrible. Try to see if I got it. Yeah, this is better. This that's orange. I mean, this is iconic to me.
Yeah,
this is the one. Frankie, do they ever wear these for throwbacks? I don't know if I've seen this one in a long time. Do they wear this as a throwback ever?
I think they should.
Yeah, I think this is a great helmet.
I don't like that one, but aside from their current jersey, everybody would know who that is as soon as you see it. They do?
Yeah, I don't watch enough Bronco games to know, but usually I see the highlights, and I can't remember seeing this uniform, but this to me is the iconic one. Again, there's some good ones. Don't get me wrong. I just to me it's not the one I would look for. But again, I wish teams would just settle in on a uniform, and then. Yeah, it is bad luck. You did lose a lot of Super Bowls in that one, Frank. You're absolutely right. But to me, I wish teams would settle on a uniform like the Bears, like the Packers, like the Cowboys, like the Raiders, and just stick with it and make that who you are. I mean, the Yankees have had the same uniforms for 100 years. It's iconic. You're known for it. Then you can have an alternate jersey you can wear once or twice a year, and you change those up every year a little bit. You can have a little exploratory. But to do this, I don't know. It is.
I don't think the Yankees should ever change the jerseys.
No, and they don't, and thank God they don't. But who knows? With all the things they change now, who knows what they'll do? All right, Jeff, let's switch gears a little bit. It's 8:20. We're running out of time. I want to get in the last two topics that we got just in case. The next one I want to bring up is the top 25 Major League Baseball players. As Frankie put up on his thing today, you wanted to put this on. So, Frankie, thank you for letting me jump onto your page and steal this here for you. So,
Okay.
Jeff, according to whoever this is, according to ESPN, these are the top 25 baseball players of all time. Jeff, have at it.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's just start from the top and go on down. Okay. Top 25, not necessarily in order, but yes, I go with Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, not a problem. Hank Aaron, Ty Cobb, not a problem. I basically don't have a problem until we get to number 8, Barry Bonds.
Okay.
Barry Bonds is a great baseball player without a doubt, but there's just too much of a shadow over him in his career. I think that him being on the top 25, he's got to be in the second part of that list, like from 20 on. I just think he's too high at number 8. How about yourself?
I agree. I think this list, I mean, to me, him being at number 8, yeah, I have a big problem with. There's a few things I have a problem with, and Frankie touched on it. Mike Trout even being on this list bothers the crap out of me, but we haven't gotten there yet.
I got to agree. Pedro Martinez on that list.
I agree.
That's another one. Ken Griffey, I have no problem with him on the list.
Nope.
What about Greg Maddux? Did he do enough in his career to be on this list? Top 25? Top 50 maybe? Top 25?
Let me say. First off, I'd have Seaver ahead of him. I think Greg Maddux is a great pitcher. Let's put it this way. Is there any other pitcher that's not on this list that we would put there ahead of him is the question.
It does say the top 25, so it's not necessarily in order.
No, that's
you know what I mean? So it is top 25 players. I personally think that somebody else should be on the list instead of Greg Maddux. If Greg Maddux is going to be on the list, he shouldn't be listed at number 14, whether this is it gives a bad look. He should be down the bottom of that list.
I would agree with you. The question I would have for both of us or all of us is if we moved him down or we took him off the list, who's the pitcher that's not on this list that we're saying should be on the list is the question. Yeah, I think Seaver to me, again, Seaver should be higher up on this list. Clemens, guy won 7 Cy Youngs.
Yeah, but Frank, you have to look at it as the top 25 Major League Baseball players of all time. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's the order that they should be in. I
do think they have it in order. I think they do, which I would have a problem with because I would put Lou Gehrig ahead of Ted Williams. That's first and foremost.
Well, there's a lot of different people that I move around on this list. Like right off the bat, I know you mentioned Mike Trout, but why is Mike Trout on this list anyway?
I agree. No, I agree with you.
Over the course of his career, how many games has he missed due to injury?
Well, that's the problem I have. His first half dozen years or better were all-time great, but he has been non-existent. I would tell you, if you were going to put a modern-day player on there, you can't put Ohtani. It's not enough time yet, but I could put Judge up there. He's got 3 MVPs. He's got 62 homers. He's averaging almost 50 homers a season. I could see putting Judge there ahead of Trout. I wouldn't put Judge on this list. I don't think he deserves to be on this list. But
I think he deserves to be on that list more so than Mike Trout.
That's my point. Yes. Where Sandy Koufax is a great one. I think that's a perfect example, Frankie. You're 100% right.
Sandy Koufax didn't have enough wins, though. I think he barely cracked 200 wins.
Frankie's right. Short career, but considered by most to be the greatest left-hander of all time. And when he was on, he was as good as anybody. Greg Maddux was a great pitcher, no doubt about it. But one, I would have him lower on this list. 2, I'd have to think about it, and that's a perfect example of somebody that I would have to say if you were asking me to start a team, and I can start it with either Sandy Koufax or Greg Maddux, I'm starting with Sandy Koufax. Mike Trout does not belong on this list.
Take Mike Trout off. What about Rod Carew or George Brett in that spot?
See, now to me, George Brett deserves to be on this. George Brett had a long a tremendous 390. I mean, to me, George Brett should be on this list ahead of Mike Trout. I tell you what, I would put George Brett on this list ahead of Mike Schmidt. And I loved Mike Schmidt as a player, but I think George Brett was a better player. Absolutely.
Mike Schmidt had better power numbers. That got him on there. That's why.
Maybe. I agree. But Trout.
I just had a guy on the tip of my tongue that I was going to say fuck. Oh, yeah. Where's Mariano Rivera?
Okay, there you go. There's a guy who should be on the head of Greg Maddux. And again, you could tell me he was only a relief pitcher. He was easily the greatest weapon for the greatest team of 2 decades. No doubt in my mind. Ichiro's another guy I would put on this list. Ichiro is vastly underrated because his career started so late. But if you took Ichiro's career and you spanned it out a little bit, putting his prime in there, Ichiro would have had 4,000 hits. Ichiro,
but you know what? Ichiro, even though he didn't play in Major League Baseball that long, and yeah, you're right. But he had a tremendous career over in Japan.
Absolutely, 100%.
And as a baseball player, that should be considered somewhat.
Oh, absolutely.
When putting him in the Hall of Fame.
100%. Yeah, and I mean, let me ask you a question. Why isn't Pete Rose on this list?
I
know he's banned from the Hall of Fame, but Pete Rose should be on this list. You're telling me that somebody would take Ricky Henderson over Pete Rose?
Dude, I don't know about that right there. That's a big one right there. I just watched a video the other day. Mm-hmm. If I come across it again, I'll tag you. And it was about Ricky Henderson. Ricky Henderson got hurt, and there was a guy on another team, and he won the stolen base trophy.
Howard Reynolds.
Okay, and he said that Ricky Henderson called him up that night that he won, and he was like, "Ricky, you got 60. Ricky would have had 60 by the All-Star."
Yes, and a funny dude and a great baseball player. Don't get me wrong.
And that's but supposedly they were like, that's how he talked. He just talked about himself in the third person.
Yes, that he said, yeah, Ricky's not feeling well today. You're like, who's Ricky talking about? Ricky. He's talking about Ricky.
Yeah. And we said the same thing when he was on base and he was going to steal a base. His manager didn't want him to steal. He's like, Ricky gone. And he just took off.
Ricky Henderson wasted
great stuff, man.
Ricky Henderson wasted a good part of his early career. But as far as talent goes, there are very few people. I mean, he hit for power, for average. He was a decent outfielder, better left fielder than a center fielder. You know, obviously he was probably one of the, if not the best, one of the greatest base stealers of all time. Ricky Henderson, while it might just fall short of this list, you know, to me, Pete Rose deserves to be on this list. Mariano Rivera should be top 10 on this list. I'm sorry. These guys are all great and they're all legends, but you'd have to put him, at the very least, he's got to be on the list, whether he's top 5, 10, 20, or whatever.
I have no problem with Ricky Henderson being on the list because he holds the record for most stolen bases in a career. So I have no problem with that. I could make a case for just about everybody that's on there for some reason or another to be on there, with the exception of Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Even Greg Maddux has done things in his career that other people haven't done.
Agreed. Listen, every one of these guys are Hall of Famers or should be Hall of Famers. There's no doubt in that they're all great players. But when you're talking about the top 25 players of the tens of thousands who've played Major League Baseball, you know, again,
how about Tony Gwynn instead of Mike Trout?
Yeah, again, I think you could go a lot of guys ahead of Mike Trout. And there's nothing wrong with Mike Trout. He's going to be a Hall of Famer someday. His first 6-7 years were magical. I think he won 3 MVPs. He was easily the best player in baseball. And then you said it. Somebody sniped him off the rooftop, and his knees and ankles and everything is gone, and he's a shell of himself. He's still a good ball player, but he don't deserve to be top 25. I'm sorry. People do that list, and he always winds up in it. And again, very talented. Would I take him over Mariano? No. Would I take him over, George Brett for a career? The answer is no. I'm sorry. I know Brett didn't have, the amount of MVPs he did, but why? Let me ask you a question. Why is Yogi Berra not on this list? The guy's got.
Why is Johnny Bench not on that list?
Why is Johnny Bench not on this list? You're 100%
Matter of fact,
right.
who is do we know who the outfielders are, the first baseman or shortstop and everything? is there a catcher on this list? I don't think there is.
I don't think there's a catcher on this list. You're 100% right. Yeah,
Was Frank
mutual.
Robinson? Did he catch it all?
No, Frank Robinson played outfield. He was a left fielder, I think, or right
What
fielder
about
most
Mike
of his career.
Schmidt? Did he? I know he was a third baseman. Did he ever catch it all?
Not to my knowledge, no. Hornsby was a second baseman, Cy Young pitcher, left field pitcher. A lot of pitchers on this list. Honus
Yeah.
Wagner, Slade Short. Again, I like Pedro Martinez. Pedro Martinez doesn't belong on this list. He barely won 200 games.
Listen, Pedro Martinez and some of these other guys, if the list was top 50, no problem.
100%.
No problem. But top
Yeah.
25, you need either Johnny Bench or Yogi Berra need to be on that list to make it complete.
Listen, no offense to Mike Schmidt, no offense to Ricky Henderson, no offense to Pedro Martinez. None of them won 5 World Series. I mean, Yogi's got 10. Here's a guy who was a 2-time or 3-time MVP. That's a guy, but Johnny Bench is considered the greatest catcher of all time. Why is he not on this list? Yeah, it's a Fugazi list. I'll just tell you flat out, it's a Fugazi list. I don't like it at all. I think the guys are seated in the wrong spots. Pedro shouldn't be on this list. Ricky should be.
This was a list. Looks like 2 guys made this at lunchtime.
Yeah,
on their lunch break, and they just wrote down 25 names. I could see some jockeying around without a doubt, but at least the first 10 should be where they are. Like except for the Barry Bonds.
You could play around with that. You could drop Barry Bonds to 11 or 12. He belongs on the
Barry
list.
Bonds should be on the second half of the other side.
Correct. I agree. Listen, I agree with you. The order could be played with a little bit. Tom.
You could put Cy Young over there. You could put Christy Matheson over there. You could put Frank Robinson over there.
Yep.
Yeah, but Roger Clemens, I would say put Roger Clemens over there. But you want to know something? Keep him where he is and put him next to Barry Bonds. They got the fucking mark against him for the steroid scandal. Yeah. What about Mark McGwire? How many years he cracked over 60 home runs?
Again, see, I think McGwire was a one-way player. Again, not that
I know, but he still holds a record over some of these other guys.
I agree with you. Again, if you had him in your top 50, I wouldn't argue with you. I can't put him in my top 25, but there are guys. You brought the biggest omission, which is Mariano, but Bench and Berra both should be on this list in the top 25. I mean, Johnny Bench won three World Series. I think he's got an MVP in there. By far considered the best all-around catcher ever. Yogi, I mean, and to me, Mariano, whether you want to put him top 10 or top 25, don't matter to me. He should be on this list. Take Trout off. Ricky should drop down. I'm sorry to say. Pedro should not be on the top 25. It's a Fugazi list. That's, to me, it's a very Fugazi list at this point.
Got to agree.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, if you wanted to put a modern day player, why is Mike Trout there, not Derek Jeter? Put Derek Jeter there.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Derek Jeter deserves to be there, but you're telling me that Mike Trout has a better career, is a better player than Derek Jeter over the course of his career? I'm sorry, but right, Frankie. Terrell Davis should be on the list. You're 100% right. He shouldn't be in the Football Hall of Fame, but he should make this list for sure. I'll agree with you there. So yeah, Jeff, it's a Fugazi list. It's a good talking point. But the minute you have Mike Trout on a list and you don't have Mariano, Jeter, Bench,
I didn't know. I totally forgot that Greg Maddux had as many Cy Young awards as he does.
Yeah,
I noted he didn't have as many wins as some of those other guys that I've seen on multiple occasions. But I didn't know that I forgot that he had the 4 Cy Young. I know he was a great pitcher. I'm not saying he wasn't a good pitcher.
Yeah.
But for top 25, does he belong to be on the list for top 25?
I would not put him in my top 25, but he deserves to be in the club. Frank, you saying no Ichiro over Jeter? Or you saying not Ichiro over Jeter? Or you saying no, Ichiro should be over Jeter? I'm not sure. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to figure out which way you're going. But if you were putting a modern day player on there, Mike Trout shouldn't be that modern day player, not my opinion. So, let's see. Let's close that up. All right, Jeff. Okay, let's go back to my page. Okay, Ichiro. Yeah, Frankie, I wouldn't argue. Ichiro had a great career. It was a better player. I'm not arguing that. Jeter's a great player because of things that he did, but if you ask me, he's probably the fourth most talented shortstop of that era. Garcia Parra and A-Rod, there were guys who were much more talented than Jeter, although I think Jeter might have had better careers than them. Ichiro is vastly underrated. Is he top 25? I'm not sure, but boy, oh boy, a great player, absolute great player. I love watching him play every day. One of the best arms I've ever seen in my entire life. So, anyway, let's Hot Rocket Sports again. Next week we'll be back on the air 7 p.m. with our NFL training camp show. We will start right on time, if not a little early. I am pumped for that show. The show, Jeff, officially kicks off our second half of the year for us as we kick into football mode, and I'm looking forward to talking football every week. Training camps open up, and there's going to be a lot of things to talk about. I got 6-7 pages already of topics for next week's show.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that. So Jeff, you wanted to do the Iron Maiden one? Go ahead, give it to me.
All right. Well, I was thinking about this today. All right. And I heard more than one person say this, and I've always kind of disagreed with it. But then I realized, I'm like, did I disagree with it because I disagree with it, or did I disagree with it because I said it's my favorite album, not the best album?
Right.
So I'm going to ask you a question. I'll give you a minute to think about it. What do you think the best Iron Maiden album is? Not your favorite, the best.
Yeah.
Because there is a difference. And the reason I say this is because I'll give you a quick thing. Let's take the first two Iron Maiden albums. You're a young kid. You're just getting into music. You're getting your first car. You bought a car off a neighbor down the street. Okay, the car needs work, right? The car needs old. It's got some work. So you bring the car home, and from the first album is the car. Second album, you did a little work to the car. Maybe you've patched a hole here and there. You fine-tune the engine a little bit. It's definitely running a little bit better. Then we get to Number of the Beast. Now the car's getting a lot better. You put a little bit more money in there. You change the engine. There's no more holes in the floor, this, that, and the other thing. And then as the album discography goes along a little bit, the car is going a little bit better. You understand my point of thinking now? Like that's...
Yeah,
so
I do.
Same thing, same question. What do you think the best Iron Maiden album is, and why?
Before I answer that, let me bring up. I just brought up every Iron Maiden album, so let's put them all on the screen so everybody can see the full list of Iron Maiden albums. And okay, so if you're asking me what the best Iron Maiden album ever produced and sent out. To me, it's no doubt. There's not a clunker on it. There's not a bad song on it. I could have easily almost went Killers. It's Number of the Beast. The production, the change in vocals. There's not a dud on the album. To me, Number of the Beast, and I might think Peace of Mind sometimes is my favorite album. There are some. To me, it's Number of the Beast. For it's almost like the first two albums were the build up, and then you got to the top of the mountain, and it's just you can't do any better. And then the next album's good, it's not as great. The next one's good, it's not as great, and it kind of comes down a little bit from there. But to me, the pinnacle of Iron Maiden is 1982 and Number of the Beast.
Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all, because it is a great album. To me, is it their best album? It's a great album, without a doubt.
It's their best album.
Best album?
Look, there's not a clunker on this. Invaders, Children of the Damned, The Prisoner, 22, Beast, Hills, Gangland, Hallowed Be Thy Name. There isn't a clunker on there.
I don't know about that.
Oh, there's not a clunker.
Gangland
Gangland's a great album.
And The Prisoner.
Listen, iconic song. Again, to me, this is the best album by far. Again, the production value, Dickinson's voice, as great as Killers was and as good as Peace of Mind is, there's nothing. This is their best album. Is it my favorite? It might not be, but this, to me, everything came together here perfectly.
Well,
That's my
did
point.
it? Did it?
Yeah, to me, it did.
I don't think so, and I'll tell you why.
Give me your rebuttal.
Well, simply because right after this album came out, Clive Burr was gone.
Right.
So to me, the more I think about it, right, if you go back to that list, to me, I think the best album that they ever put out is Peace of Mind. Because once again, it's a great album, great songs, everything else, great production value. All this stuff is great. But more importantly, they went with that lineup for how many years in a row? They went with that lineup for almost 10 years.
Very true.
Before Adrian Smith left, before Bruce Dickinson left. I don't know what year Adrian left. Do you know?
It was 94, I believe. Him and Bruce left. I think it's 93, 94. They were gone for 5 or 6 years.
Well,
or maybe
Bruce,
it was early. Maybe earlier.
Adrian Smith, I think, left for 9 years, and Bruce Dickinson left for like 5 or 6 years.
I think you might be right. It might be early 90s that they walked that, but they both came back together. But go ahead.
It was almost a 10-year window that album that they went and played. And if you go back to that list of albums, and then just look at not the songs, the albums.
There you go.
You went from Peace of Mind, Power Slave, Somewhere in Time, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Just 1, 2, 3. Those 4 albums, there was tremendous growth in the band. There was growth in the band from Iron Maiden, The Killers, more of a production standpoint. And then they went from Paul Di'Anno to Bruce Dickinson with Killers to Number of the Beast. But it wasn't until they got, and they were still, just about becoming a headlining act at that point in time.
Yep.
Because if you remember, they were opening up for Priest during the Killers tour. I mean, not Killers tour, the Number of the Beast tour.
Correct.
Then Peace of Mind, that's when they started going out on their own and headlining. And they were a tremendous band that headlined for how many years on all of those albums. But if you look at this, I'm just going by here. Iron Maiden, 80. Killers, 81. Number of the Beast, 82. Peace of Mind, 83. Power Slave, 84. Somewhere in Time, 86. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, 88. So that means in 8 years, they put out 7 albums.
Yep.
So they were constantly touring and on the ground. And those albums got progressively better. Maybe Somewhere in Time is a weak one to me. I don't like that one.
Okay.
But I think they rebounded nicely with Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. And then they kind of tailed off a little bit after that. But to me, like, the whole journey started at Peace of Mind. And I just think that they became the complete band that they were for the next 10 years until Bruce and Adrian Smith left. I wish that they would kick fucking Yannick Gears out now, but I guess that's never going to happen.
That's not happening. Yeah, I know. That's a done deal. But listen, I love Peace of Mind. I think it's a great album. Yes, you're right. Nico comes in there, and the band settled in for the next 10 years from 83 to 92. The band is the band, and then back somewhere between 92 and 95, the band splits up, and you get Blaze, you get Yannick. It's a different band till 99, till 2000, and then you get Adrian and Bruce back. So I get it. I just think there's something special about Number of the Beast, the album, being that it's so. Again, I love the first 2 albums. The first album, bad production, right? We both agree. The first album, while it's iconic and I love a lot of the album, the production value is not great. Killers, better production value, but not great. A little dark, and Di'Anno's okay. He's really good. He fits the album. But Number of the Beast, it's the pinnacle. It just, everything hits. You want to say Gangland's a little sketchy. I could point to a couple sketchy ones on Sun and Steels. It's a good song on Peace, but not great. To me, The Beast, it's just the best album they ever did. It's pure solid. You put them on the map. I could deal without Run to the Hills. I still think it, but it lives. It still lives today. So
it does. And listen, you can't go wrong. There is
No,
really no wrong answer.
no.
But to me, what other stretch in their career did they do other than From Peace of Mind, Power Slave, Somewhere in Time, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, No Prayer for the Dying, and I don't know where they tailed off and when those guys left, but that was like 5 albums in a row that lineup just came out, and
Oh yeah,
they were one of the top bands, if not the top band, until Metallica came around and just pushed everybody off to the side a little bit. But
sure.
Maiden has such a fanatical fan base
Yes.
also on top of it. So I mean, that's just my opinion. I just feel as though that if you ask me what their best album is, not my favorite, their best, I would
Yeah.
have to say Peace of Mind.
Okay, and it's fair because I think Nico took it up a level. I think there's a couple of songs that aren't Maiden-esque for me. I listen to them, I get, but again, when I compare the two, I got to go Beast as the number one. But listen, Peace of Mind. I saw that was my first Maiden concert with them in Quiet Riot. Fantastic. If I wasn't in love with the band already, which I was, they certainly had me hooked there. I saw that one. I saw Power Slave.
You saw Power Slave?
Yep. Yeah, me, Jerry Brusco, and Joey went to see them February at Radio City.
Yep, that's right.
Yep, me, Joey, and Jerry Brusco in his white motorcycle jacket.
Oh my God.
He wore a white motorcycle jacket.
I remember that jacket. God damn, I remember that jacket.
Yes, he had a white motorcycle jacket, and we went out to see Iron Maiden at Radio City. And Bruce Dickinson had like a tremendous fever, was sick as a dog. And I remember sitting on the stage, saying, I don't know how I'm doing this, but he got through. Queensryche opened for them. It was a great show. It was absolutely fantastic. A good venue. It's the only time I think I've ever been in Radio City was for that concert. So great
I
show.
saw Heaven and Hell in Radio City. Tremendous.
Yeah. It was I would say the old Garden before they refurbished it was
nice. You know what? When you're famous for your jacket all these years later,
at least it wasn't the red one, but it was white. I remember like going and everybody was in a black motorcycle jacket or denim, and Jerry comes strolling in with a white motorcycle jacket with black parachute pants.
Oh my God!
Yes, I'll never forget it. I remember me, him, and Joey getting on the ferry, and me and Joey looking at each other. Joey, I think we were in like dirty jeans and Chuck Taylors, and I think I had a denim jacket. It was February, so it was a little cold out. And Jerry showed up, and I'm like, "What are you wearing? Like, what is that?" But he was the only guy that I remember in our crowd or even in our neighborhood that had a white one. Even Frankie remembers it. Frankie was the South Beach guy.
Oh God, please.
So, but good times, good memories, and a great concert. I would tell you, as much as I love the Peace of Mind tour, they were much better the next year. The production value went up. It was great. It was absolutely fantastic. So
it's definitely a band that definitely every album they kicked it up a notch a little bit, and to me everything was cool at the time, and they went off the rails with the synthesizer. You wanted to add the synthesizer? That's okay. I don't mind the way they did it on Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. I think it was definitely tamed a little bit. Yeah. And they got it out of their system, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not my thing either. To be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of that stuff. I don't like I don't like it in any of my bands and stuff. And I'm old school. I like the Maiden before that was much better. But it's not terrible. I'm just saying I would prefer. Easily, I would prefer the non-synthesized. My buddy Richie Dog had a white motorcycle jacket, wore it to L'Amour's, and the girls were making fun of him. That's about it, but he was. That's it. That's the guys. That's a great way to say it. Jerry was a Guido who went to a metal concert wearing a white motorcycle jacket. Like no metalhead would have wore that jacket. It just wasn't something you would wear. You wear a black one if you were going to wear one at that point. That you wouldn't wear that. I remember I had one. I lent it to somebody.
A white one?
No, black. My black motorcycle jacket, which cost me $100 at the time, and $100 back in 1984, 85 was a lot of money. Still is, but and I lent the guy a jacket. He said he wanted to. His sister was going to wear it for some play she was in, and I remember it was like the beginning of the summer, and I remember at the end of the summer I said, "Hey, can I get my jacket back? It's it's going to get cold. I'd like to have my jacket." He says, "You never lent it to me." I said, "I gave you it."
Christ.
He said, you never lent it to me. And then one day, a few weeks later, we went someplace and I said, "Can you get, I'm looking for something." He says, "It's in my trunk, go in my trunk." And I found my jacket in his trunk, and it had a huge hole in the back of the jacket.
Jesus Christ.
Ask me how the jacket got a hole in it.
I'm kind of curious myself. Those motorcycle jackets were rather tough.
Correct. So what I found out through somebody else was this guy had driven his van onto the beach, South Beach, sand in South Beach.
Oh boy, here we go.
Stuck and used my jacket under the tire to try to get traction to get out. So
is this Dennis?
I'm not going to say names.
You don't have to. You could say initials. DK.
Yes.
Oh, that guy was such a
absolute tool. Absolute tool.
Yeah.
I had a black jacket. I had a black and red motorcycle jacket because I love Glenn Tipton. That was borderline. I got to be honest with you. Glenn Tipton was cool, so you could probably get away with it. But you can't wear a white one. It couldn't happen. And again, it's a perfect point.
Dude, even Rob Halford didn't wear a fucking white motorcycle
jacket. Yeah, he was gay.
And he was gay.
Yeah. So again, that was my Jerry Brusco story for going to see Iron Maiden at Radio City, and a great concert. But he wore a white motorcycle jacket, and I know Joey and I made fun of him, but I don't know if Joey will remember that. But that I went to my first two main concerts. Me and Joey. The first one was me, Joey, and Jimmy Colicchio, and the second was me, Joey, and Jerry Brusco. That's my story.
Wow.
So anyway, big show. We're going to wrap it up right here because we have to get off the air before 9 so I can get my clips and play them on the air. But we'll be back next Thursday night with our big anniversary show. That's right. We're celebrating 12 years officially, start of year 13, right here on the Hard Rocket Sports Show with our NFL training camp show. So I hope you guys come back and you will join us. It won't be the same without Frankie. Frankie, I want to make a big announcement. I'm going to start a petition to have Terrell Davis removed from the NFL Hall of Fame. I'd like you to sign it as a Bronco fan. So we'll announce it next week on the show, Jeff.
Listen, I think you already announced it this week, but okay.
No, you might be
That's
right.
one thing. And second of all, if anything, I think his membership should be switched to the appropriate Hall of Fame that he belongs in.
Which one is that?
Either pickleball or golf.
We'll have some fun. But anyway, guys, I really do appreciate all you guys hanging out with us tonight. I'm looking forward to next week. Looking forward to next week all the way. Jeff and I will be back. Maybe we'll have some guests. I'm going to reach out to some friends and see if we get them on. I will announce we will be doing the South Beach Panther Fantasy League. Is kicked off. We are going to turn it into a keeper league. So we are going to. So since we have been doing this for every year, it looks like we'll be continuing. Good night, Frankie. We'll make it a keeper. We'll be keeping either 2 or 3 players every year. You will be able to hold on to your guys.
Later. So wait a minute. So does this mean we get to hold on to the guys from last year?
No, we tried to see if we could do that. It doesn't seem to work that way. I wanted to do that. I figured, guys, everybody's been in the league. Everybody's had the same team for a few years. It would be fun. It doesn't seem like that's possible. Frankie was, I think, looking into it, but as of right now, the answer is no. We'll be starting that with this year's team. And I was going to restrict it to no quarterbacks or only one. You can't do it. So you can, if you have 3 quarterbacks or 4 or 3 running backs or whatever, you'll be able to hold on to any players you want. Go for it. Well, we'll put it to a vote. I will not say this is official. We want to make it a keeper league. So we'll put it out there to everybody and see if they want to do it that way. There's also been a motion. Somebody asked if we can raise the entrance fee to $75. I
I
said
don't have a problem with that.
I said I'll put it out there and see if everybody wants to do it.
$75 and what to make to stretch the prizes out to maybe third place.
Again, we already have 3. So right now it's been
no, it's just 2. No, isn't it first and second place?
No, 3 players. You get 3, 2, and 1.
Okay.
So no, I wanted to make it 4. At least get the 4th place team. I think if you the last 4 teams, somebody that you should at least get your fee back, which would have been 50, but nobody, Frankie vetoed it. But check with, do me a favor, Frankie Katz, before you go. Check with Joe Fro. Make sure he's coming back. I might have a couple of new entries. I got one that's a possibility. I don't want to announce names until I know for sure. I'll know next weekend.
Let me know if you need any. I may have a person or 2 that I can get.
Yeah, I'm looking to replace a couple. I think we're looking for at least 2 teams. I might have 1 spot filled, so I'll let you know. But and if you have somebody, let me know. We're trying to make sure we have a good team. But yeah, I think there's a good chance we may Fro is back. Okay, good. So I'm gonna say it's probably going to be a keeper league, and we're going to probably raise the fee. But I'll put an email out to everybody once we decide, and then we'll vote on it if everybody wants to go that route. So be on the lookout for an email in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And we'll have the draft the weekend before the weekend before Labor Day probably, which is a good 2 weeks before the season. So I'm looking forward to it. I got to redeem myself. I came in, I think, 11th out of 12 last year. I got to get back in.
The best part of last year was not so much watching your team collapsed.
Oh God, here we go.
Out of the gate, but was picking before you and taking your draft pick.
You did. It didn't do you any good, but that's fine. That's fine.
All you had to do was say to me that's what you were going to take, and I would have thought about taking somebody else.
No, you wouldn't have. It just made you smile. It just made you smile even more. You cocksucker.
Well, the only thing that made me smile when I heard you cocksucker.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
That made me smile.
Yeah, because every single one of my first 2 or 3 picks, I went, this mother effer is stealing my picks. And sure enough, but that's okay. This year, karma will hit you this year. That's all I can say. Karma will hit you. We'll see. Frankie Igimo will be back this year to defend his title. Hopefully, we'll get everybody back, but I'll get the messages out, so be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, Frankie, Anthony, everybody, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next Thursday night when Jeff and I get together again. I will buzz you in the morning about tomorrow to let me know if you're in. Yeah,
I'm dude. I can already tell you I'm in.
Okay. Again, let me my day. You never know what my day till I get started. So I will buzz you in the morning, but 99% get the controllers ready, and I'll be by for a few games. In the meantime, I will be we'll be back next Thursday to do this all over again. So for myself and Jeff and everybody here at Hard Rocket Sports, I say have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and a great next week. We'll see you back here next Thursday when we get to do this all over again. So for Jeff and myself and everybody at Hard Rocket Sports, have a good night. Hefe, I'll talk to you off the air.
You got it, man.
Good night, everybody.
Later.